Hello, I'm your host, Grant Cohn. I cover the 49ers for the Santa Rosa Press Democrat, Associated Press, and Hot Mic, and maybe a couple other places, but I tend to forget. The 49ers are playing the Baltimore Ravens this Sunday. It's going to be the best game of the season. It might be the best game all season. It might be better than the eventual Super Bowl if the Ravens don't make it and Lamar Jackson gets hurt, as we probably all expect. You don't want to say it, but running quarterback, he's been a little lucky so far, and it's like the sprained ankle's coming. But anyway, he's healthy now. The Niners have a huge task in front of them. The Niners should not feel ashamed if they lose this game. They're underdogs. It's in Baltimore. And the Ravens are really, really good. But the Niners can win this game. They're probably the best team the Ravens have played this year. But I want to show you guys, the 49ers fans, or any NFL fans that are looking at this from the 49ers perspective, what challenges do the Ravens present? What do the Niners have to be ready for? I want to start with the Ravens defense because I want to finish with their offense. That's the more high-profile side of their team. But the defense is just as good, if not as good, as the Ravens offense. The defense is really, really good. It's going to be a rainy game, meaning both teams may want to run the ball more. It might be tough to throw it. It's tough to throw a wet ball. It's tough to catch a wet ball, meaning both defenses could be sold out to stop the run, which means neither run game may work. The Niners' run game has struggled the last couple of weeks since Juszczyk got hurt. He's come back. He's healthy now, but he's not quite himself. And that run game, is particularly Tevin Coleman, hasn't been that explosive. So this game could come down to Jimmy Garoppolo and how well he throws in key moments. So we need to show you what the Ravens really bring to the table on defense in terms of their pass coverage. Today I have my stylist. I'm going to get real analytical with it. But first I want to start with the pressures, the blitzes, because the Ravens blitz as much and as more than anyone. And they're extremely good at blitzing. So what I want to show you first is a couple of their blitzes that they did a few weeks ago against the New England Patriots. This should make the Niners a little bit nervous. The sense just how great the Ravens were against the Patriots, who were undefeated at the time. The Ravens weren't intimidated whatsoever, and they won't be intimidated against the 49ers. It's going to be a real heavyweight fight with two guys who are supremely confident. But I want to show you first. This is what Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers offense has to be prepared for. Well, let's do the full screen snip first. Let's do the full screen snip so I can do a little bit of writing. Here. Okay. So, you got this guy here. 1, 2, 3 on the defensive left. You got 1, 2, 3. You know what? No, I don't want to do this one. Let's go forward a little bit because a seventh guy is going to come in the picture. Brady's trying to set the protection. You got 1, 2, 3 over here, 1, 2, 3 over here. Here comes this guy. He's creeping. But okay, now that he's in the picture, let's do a little bit of drawing. Here we go. Okay. Just going to show you. I mean, it's not the first person to ever run something like this, but look what they do. They got 3 on the left, 1, 2, 3 on the left, and then 4 potential rushers on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. The way this is going to work is these two are going to drop out. This nose tackle is going to engage the center. The center is going to block him real quick and then try to get over and block this guy. What they're going to create is basically 2 guys blocking him, 3 guys blocking him at first. Then this guy's going to go over here, and you're going to have, this looks terrible, but 2 guys blocking him. Okay? Let me erase all that stuff. Hold on. Erasing all of that. So, you get these 3 committed to him, basically. He's going to come over here eventually, and you're going to have these 2 on him. And now you're going to have 1, 2 blocking 1, 2, 3. And you're going to have a free rusher on Brady. And he's going to have to throw the ball away. So let's see how it goes. This is against the most sophisticated offense in the league with the best offensive line coach. So again, these 2 drop. The center has to hit 97. Then he's going to come back and get 53, but not in time for this guard to go over and get someone else. So you got a double team on the nose tackle. And then here's where all the overload blitzing comes in. 53 is occupying this guy, and now you got 1, 2 to block 1, 2, 3. So this guy's in a night fork, to use a chess reference. If he blocks him, this guy gets the pressure. If he blocks him, this guy gets the pressure. And this guy, the left tackle, is blocking who he needs to block, the outside linebacker. Michel, the running back, makes the right choice. He blocks the person with the more direct path to the quarterback and leaves 29, Earl Thomas, with a free run at Tom Brady, who throws the ball away, takes a hit, goes down. This is what Jimmy Garoppolo has to be prepared for. That was 3rd and 10. And they're going to do versions of this all game. They blitz 20, 25 times a game. So let's go further into the first quarter, late, 129, and another blitz. This is on 3rd and 7. It's going to be similar. It's a similar look. The Patriots haven't adjusted. Let's look. Here we go. Oh, bring it here. Do a full screen snip. No way. Here we go. Full screen snip. All right. Now it's reversed. You got 3 over here. 4 over here. And again, the Ravens are going to get the nose tackle to occupy the center and create 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on 1, 2, 3. Someone's going to be unblocked. There's going to be a big hit on Tom Brady. They do this really, really well. The Niners have to be prepared for that. And I'm sure they are. But Jimmy has to execute here. Get rid of the ball or take a sack. Don't throw the ball into coverage. You see again, this too. They did it on the other one on the other side. This running back, Sony Michel, can only block one guy. You see? This is a 6-man rush. No, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's a little bit more aggressive than the last one. 98 occupies the left guard. 93 occupies the center. And now you get 3 on 2. 3 on 2. They're going to do this to the Niners over and over and over again, especially on 3rd down. But the thing that makes the Ravens particularly tough is if they were only like a blitz team, the Niners have beaten teams like that this season. The Cardinals are like that. The Cardinals and their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, blitz nonstop, but their coverage isn't particularly good, and it's not particularly varied. What makes this defense really good is that they actually switch up their coverages and they present a lot of information for the quarterback to handle. I'm going to go to a different game now. I'm going to go to so that was week 9 against the Patriots. Now I'm going to go to week 11 against Houston. Houston was one of the better teams in the league, and they got beaten 41-7, I believe, by the Ravens. And they have this young quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo in that they can make some plays, but they also make some mistakes, although Jimmy makes more. But Deshaun Watson looked horrible in this game. Let's see what the Ravens did. Remember, they're a blitzing team, but they also can play coverage, drop guys into coverage, and really confuse quarterbacks instead of just pressuring them. So, first quarter, 5:56. Here we go. This is 4th and 2. 4th and 2. So, let's see what the Ravens do. They're showing pre-snap man coverage. This guy locked on this guy, this guy locked on this guy. It's not looking like zone. Right now, Deshaun Watson is seeing man-to-man coverage with a potential blitz and a safety in center field. You would call this cover 1 with potential for blitzing. But it's not a blitz. 4th and 2, they show the blitz, but this guy backs out and double covers this wide receiver to take away the slant. What they're doing is by showing the blitz, they're hoping that Deshaun Watson will go to his hot route and it'll be this guy on a quick slant. So they're trying to force an interception here. Make him think a blitz is coming, make him throw a quick pass, and then drop a defender right in the window. So they take away the quick slant with this guy who drops into the window. Here it is. He's dropping right here. Now you got 2 guys on him. It's effectively double coverage. Can't throw there. Now, Where else can he go? Here's DeAndre Hopkins, his best receiver. He's going to run an in route, and he's going to be open, you'd think, because the double coverage is here. But here comes Hopkins. Here's Earl Thomas. He jumps the route. He's almost like what they would call a robber, pretending to be deep and then coming in shallow, trying to bait the throw and pick it off. So now you got like double coverage here, double coverage here. Watson doesn't throw the ball. Let's look at it from his angle. It's a really good job of not forcing this pass into coverage here. Holds the ball and extends the play, allows DeAndre Hopkins to run deep. Here he is running deep. Throws to him and misses. That's a really, really tough throw, and they turn the ball over on downs. But what the Niners need, the coaching point they need to give to Jimmy Garoppolo is, because he doesn't really extend plays like Deshaun Watson. Jimmy Garoppolo, we've seen him do it a lot on a third down or a fourth down. He'll predetermine a read and throw to someone no matter what the coverage is. Jimmy might have thrown this ball to Hopkins. Watson didn't. Jimmy needs to know that there's going to be some exotic coverages, some weird looks to bait him into bad decisions and interceptions, and he needs to be prepared for it. They've shown these looks on tape. If he's done his homework, he can see things like this where Earl Thomas starts out deep and jumps down into a robber or rat, that's what the coaches call it, position. If he's not prepared, he's going to throw a couple of picks and the Niners are going to lose, but he should be prepared. I mean, it's week 13. The Ravens have put this on film many, many times, and the Niners have an excellent, excellent coaching staff. He should be prepared. But these are the little weird looks that they're going to see, and I have another one. Week 12, this is last week against the Rams. The Ravens, they recently traded for Marcus Peters from the Rams. And since they've done that, their defense has taken off. It's one of the best defenses in the league, and they're forcing a lot of turnovers. Marcus Peters in particular, when he's getting targeted, is giving up a quarterback rating of about 39, which is as good, almost as good as you can do. Here we go. And the thing about him, he freelances. He's tough to game plan for because he kind of does his own thing. He's already intercepted Jimmy Garoppolo once this year. That was when the Niners played the Rams earlier this season. So here's fourth quarter from last week. And I wanted to show you it's pretty simple, but Marcus Peters makes it tough, makes it more complicated. So what's the score? They're down big, 42-6 still. So let's see. Jared Goff, he sees blitz. Let's see. Goff sees a blitz, 5 rushers. But where is it? Oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's also going to see the coverage. He's going to read this correctly. Reads the blitz. Sees 1, 2, 3 deep with 1, 2, 3 under. So a 3 deep, 3 underneath zone coverage. Looks pretty standard. Now he's going to hang in there under pressure and see Robert Woods is breaking on this out-breaking route. There should be a window right here because he's a little bit further to the outside than Earl Thomas. And you got Marcus Peters, who's is supposed to be honoring this receiver right here. It's 2nd and 10. The problem is Marcus Peters doesn't always follow his assignment. He kind of does what he wants to do and lives with any mistakes he makes. So while he is supposed to be the underneath zone defender, he reads the quarterback. What's going on here, guys? Oh, it froze. Let me try again. Yeah, he reads the quarterback and decides to drop deep. And Jared Goff doesn't expect that. And he gets intercepted. He reads the play correctly. Jimmy could do this. There's your blitz. It's picked up. There's 3 underneath, 3 deep. Woods looks open, but Peters reads it all the way, drops, and makes an incredible interception. These are things Jimmy Garoppolo has to be aware of, or the Niners are going to lose. And I'm not saying they are going to lose, but monumental task. This is a hell of a defense. The Niners have to be very cautious. Maybe a safety-first game plan. Because if they're going to win this game, they're going to win it with their defense. Let's talk about what the Ravens do on offense that makes them so challenging and what the Niners can do to beat them. So let's go back and just show you what the Niners are facing real quick. Just one run that shows you what Lamar Jackson can do. I'm going to go back to the Houston game. Week 11 here. This is going to be third quarter, 9:11 left. Just so we can get a sense. I mean, we've all seen Lamar Jackson run, but I want to put it out there so we can have call this the control case. This is what the Niners can't let the Ravens do. All right. Remember, Lamar Jackson is way different than Russell Wilson. When you approach the Seahawks, you can't just say, we can't sell out to stop Russell Wilson from running because he doesn't run that much. He runs a couple of key times per game. You got to be ready for it. Same with Kyler Murray. You don't just sell out to stop him from running because he only rushes 6 times per game. He wants to beat you with his arm. He wants to hand the ball off. Lamar Jackson's averaging 7 yards per carry and rushing about 12 times per game. The number one thing you got to do is sell out to stop him running because here's what he can do. Let's look at it from the back. I mean, Niner fans all remember Colin Kaepernick in the same diamond formation, running the same runs out of a Greg Roman offense, but he didn't do it like this. Hell of an athlete, not this athletic. Zone read. Looks like it's going nowhere, right? Because you got this guy, well, let's move it back. Poor guy. This guy here, this guy here. Now, this guy's going to end up looking the wrong direction and thinking that the running back has the ball. You see that? He's turned away. Then it's just him, Lamar Jackson, one-on-one against a defensive end who's setting the edge and in perfect position to stop him. Watch what happens. It's not fair. I mean, the coaches really drew this up perfectly to contain Lamar Jackson in the pocket, and he's going to gain 39 yards because he makes like 7 guys miss. Really, really good. There's never been a runner like this. It takes an entire game plan to keep him from beating you with his legs. So let's see what the Niners could potentially do. I want to start off by showing you what they did 2 weeks ago when they faced the Cardinals, because that's probably what they're not going to do in this game. I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to go back to week 11 against the Cardinals here, and I'm going to show you Kyler Murray's touchdown run at the end. How the Niners schemed it up, how Kyle Shanahan Robert Saleh schemed it up, why this probably won't work against the Ravens and what the Niners can do differently. Okay, 6:35. Here we go. This is when it looked like the Niners might lose this game. We'll look at it from the end zone, and we'll slow it down. So, first of all, I'm going to do a little full screen snip, get to drawing, because I like to do that. All right. The Niners do a scrape exchange. This is the unblocked defensive end. He's going to come down here, and normally an offense puts him in a bind. If he goes for the running back, the quarterback keeps it and runs this way. If he goes for the quarterback, he hands it off to the running back and he runs up the middle for a big gain. It's like another night fork. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But really, the Seahawks popularized this at the beginning of the decade when they had to face Colin Kaepernick a couple of times a year, and they shut him down repeatedly. And remember, Robert Saleh was on that coaching staff. He knows how to stop a Greg Roman offense. What they did, and it worked against Colin Kaepernick, was a scrape exchange. There's no reading involved. Nick Bosa, the unblocked defensive end, comes down, takes out the running back, encourages the quarterback to keep it and run this way, and you have this linebacker anticipating the quarterback run and chasing him out this way and cutting him off. This is what the Seahawks did to Colin Kaepernick all the time, and it really worked against him. It forced him to become a traditional quarterback, and he couldn't win that way against the Seahawks. It probably won't work against Lamar Jackson because you don't want Lamar Jackson to run. You want the running back to run. Lamar Jackson's the bigger threat. So encouraging him to run doesn't make any sense. Plus, if he runs and tries to get to the outside, there's no guarantee that 54 Fred Warner can catch him. Fred Warner is a 4.65 40-yard dash guy. Lamar Jackson is a 4.3 guy. So this strategy won't work, and I'll show you how it worked against Kyler Murray. But look, Bosa going straight for the running back, not even looking at the quarterback. And the reason that Kyler Murray gets away here is because Warner's running to the running back too. He doesn't follow his assignment. The scrape exchange, he's supposed to be out here running that direction before the quarterback is. And now that Murray's in the open field, he's just impossible. But I understand against the Cardinals, the Niners were more concerned about stopping Kenyon Drake because he's the one who almost beat him in Arizona this year. Kyler Murray, he only keeps the ball 5-6 times a game. And when he does, he can hurt you like this. But really, you need to be more focused on stopping the running back in the Cardinals offense on the ground. Against the 49ers 7-8 years ago, it was Colin Kaepernick you needed to stop. And against the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson. So I want to show you another thing the Niners could do. We talked to Nick Bosa this week, and we were asking him all about, the scrape exchange and if it's going to be effective against Lamar Jackson. And usually players don't reveal anything about the game plan, but he did. He's a very, not a brazen rookie, but he acts like he's 30 years old, like he's the best player on the team, and he might be. So he said, we're not necessarily going to do the scrape exchange like we've been doing it. We have a different plan for Lamar Jackson, and he was very confident in it. This is one thing the Niners might be able to do, and I'm going to take film from the Niners-Ravens Super Bowl in February of 2013. Remember, Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback, and they ran the same offense. So let's see what the Ravens did. This is fourth quarter, 11:34. It's just a different strategy, and I'm not saying it's better. But remember, against an offense with Colin Kaepernick in 2012-13 and Lamar Jackson in 2019, you're not trying to make Lamar Jackson run. You're trying to make him hand it off and throw. You don't want him running. He can't run. If he runs, you lose. So what did the Ravens do against the Niners? Let's see. Here we go. Here's Colin Kaepernick. They're going to run a zone read. They leave Suggs unblocked. And instead of, remember, let's do a full screen snip. Let's do a full screen snip. The way Saleh coaches it is for the unblocked guy to take the running back and the linebacker to come over here and take the quarterback. That's not what you want to do against Kaepernick or Lamar Jackson because you really don't want those guys to run. So what you do is you do the opposite. You take this guy and make him hit the quarterback every time they run this play. Make him hand off and live with the results. The Ravens' idea was Frank Gore's not going to beat us. Colin Kaepernick will beat us with his legs because he's more explosive. He's the guy with the longer runs. He's the guy who can score from 80 yards away. Not only force him to hand off the ball, but hit him. Hit him as many times as possible. Because they'll take a toll. And the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, will not want Colin Kaepernick to keep taking those painful hits. He'll stop calling the zone read. And you'll take that play out of their playbook. This is how it worked out in this game. Here's the hit. Boom. Big one. He feels that. Greg Roman sees that and is going to limit the amount of times he calls his own read in this game. Now, it's not the greatest strategy. Hold on. I got to go back because come on, Game Pass, get your stuff together. It's not the greatest strategy because look what Frank Gore does. It's not a way to really stop the run. It's just a way to stop Colin Kaepernick. You're going to give up a long one to Gore. He gets 21 yards. Big hole, too. I mean, overruns the play. But you can understand why the Ravens did it. And they won the Super Bowl. But I don't think this is what the Niners may do this a couple of times. They may switch up their approach to defending Lamar Jackson. But I don't think they're going to do this. I think there's actually a better way that they can, a better strategy to defending that zone read running game. And I think that's what they're going to do. So let's show you, I want to show you, I found this one from this season, week 5. The Ravens played the Steelers. Divisional matchup. But you may not have watched that game. Ravens should have lost. It went to overtime. And it was the one game this year where their offense really stunk. They averaged only 3.5 yards per carry. The Steelers figured them out. They had a plan to stop Lamar Jackson from running. They did. They turned him into a one-dimensional pocket passer. He threw 3 picks. Now, the Steelers couldn't win because they have Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph really, really, really stinks. But if the Niners can pull off what the Steelers pull off, they'll win. And the thing that bodes well for the Niners is the Niners' front seven is just as good as the Steelers' front seven. Maybe better. Although the Steelers have a great front seven. They have this linebacker, Devin Bush, who's fantastic. The Niners' front seven is really good, too, and it's young and fast like Pittsburgh's. Unlike New England, that's old and slow, and that's one reason they got eviscerated by the Ravens. I'd say the Niners' defense is much more like Pittsburgh. This is why I'm going to this game. I think the Niners are equipped to shut down the Ravens' run game just like Pittsburgh did. And I'm going to show you how Pittsburgh did it. I have 3 different plays, 3 different clips. This is 22 personnel. Tight end, another tight end, or a fullback, 1 wide receiver. It's real simple what the Steelers do. Let's show you. I love it. It's great. It's very aggressive. First of all, let's look at it. Let's do a little snip. Okay. So I pointed out tight end, fullback. How are the Steelers going to match up? Because this is something the Niners have to figure out. How do the Niners match up with this personnel grouping here? Most zone read teams like to spread you out, like the Cardinals, 4 wide receivers. As we know from Greg Roman in his years with the Niners, he's different. He likes to do the zone read from the pistol formation and heavy sets, a lot of block. It's what makes him unique. So the Steelers match up with 3 down linemen, 1, 2, 3, an outside linebacker, and 3 inside linebackers. 3. So 3 D linemen, 5 linebackers, a free safety, and 2 corners out here. So a lot of teams used to load up with speed. What the Steelers did was just overwhelm them with power and strength, okay? It's different from what teams have done in the past. And not only that, I got to do one more full screen stip because it's not just lining up with those linebackers. What they do is they blitz. They take this guy and they run him in right here. So basically, you have a 5-man front. He makes it a 6-man front, and he's trying to blitz and get in between this gap right here and blow up the play in the backfield before he has a chance to even get going. I'm going to show you how the Steelers do this 3 different times. 98. Blitzes, gets into the backfield, meets this pulling guard quick. Oh, come on. 11:34. All right, here we go. He squeezes the hole. The idea is, look, and the Steelers, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. The idea is on a zone read, this guy blocks down, leaves this guy unblocked. What the Steelers say is, okay, you want to leave this guy unblocked, but we're going to blitz right behind him. Now you're leaving 2 guys unblocked. And now we got 1 guy for the quarterback, 1 guy for the running back. See what I'm saying? We're going to blitz right behind the unblocked defensive lineman. This time he goes inside. But this is 2 unblocked guys. He's allowed to hang back and read it. By reading it, he encourages the handoff. Now, this is not a zone read. This is just a handoff. And I'm going to show you some zone reads. But this is part of the Ravens' run game as well. Steelers shut it down. Not with a lot of speed, but with a lot of brawn and power. Okay, that's clip 1. Now I'm going to get into the zone read. This one is second quarter, right at the beginning. Okay. All right. Let's look at it from the back. Now again, notice you got linebacker, 3 defensive linemen. So you call it a 3-5-3. It's unconventional. And it's something the Niners can do. They can use Warner, Greenlaw. They can have Bosa stand up. You know, they can do this the same exact. This could be Jaquiski Tart right here. This is something they can do and should. They should just copy this because they have the talent to pull off exactly what the Steelers do. Again, blitzing here. This is not a zone read. Sorry about that. The next one is. But it's the same idea. This is, what is this? 1st and 10. Blitzing on 1st and 10. This is a run blitz. Bring this guy in. Speed up the offense's play. Try to blow it up in the backfield. Just get a lot of bodies in the backfield. But now I want to show you the zone read. I promise. I got the zone read. This is it. Second quarter, 8:07. And this is going to be out of a nickel defense against 3 wide receivers. But it's the same principle. Blitzing behind the unblocked guy. This is the real key here. So as we see, before we get to the end zone angle, 1 wide receiver, 2 wide receiver, 3 wide receiver, tight end, and the pistol formation. Zone read is coming. Let's see what the Steelers do. And this is the key to stopping the Ravens. If the Steelers had a better offense, they would have won this game. If the Niners execute this strategy here, they'll win the game too. And the thing about Robert Saleh, he's seen this. He knows this. He's one of the most well-prepared defensive coordinators in the league. So, here we go. I'm going to do a full-screen snip because it's my favorite thing to do. Here we go. They're going to be reading this outside linebacker. They're going to leave him unblocked. This guy's going to come over here. Okay? What they're going to do is, instead of what most teams do, they'll send him here, and then he'll read. He'll hang out here, and if the running back takes it, then he'll go after the running back. If the quarterback takes it, he'll come over here. It's what you don't want. It's a passive play. What the Steelers want to do is be aggressive. So what they do, it's the same thing they've been doing. This guy's going to come here. This guy's going to blitz right behind him. So now it's like the idea is you want to leave this gap unblocked? Well, we're going to bring two guys into it, not one. What that allows them to do is 28 can go straight to the running back. It's assignments. Instead of having 55 have to read someone, 28 right to the running back, 48 waits for the quarterback, and it's checkmate. There's nothing the offense can do. This is the perfect way to stop the Ravens zone read. All they can do is check out of the play and pass. And that's what the Niners want them to do. If the Niners can make the Ravens one-dimensional, they win. So let's see how it plays out. Here comes the blitz. Unblocked. This guy's also unblocked. He's coming over here. The left tackle blocking down. And look at 28. Two unblocked guys. 48 waiting for the quarterback, 28 waiting for the running back. He's reading him, you see. Lamar Jackson is reading 48. And what he sees is 48's staying home, honoring the keeper. So he has to hand the ball off because he's not looking at 28. He's looking at 48. 28's right in position to stop the running back. Boom. This is checkmate. That's a loss of 2. This is why the Steelers should have won. And I'm picking the Niners to win this game because the way I look at it, the Steelers showed the blueprint on how to stop the Ravens' run game. The Niners have the coaching and the personnel to pull off the same strategy. And if the game comes down to a one-dimensional passing offense with the Niners against a one-dimensional passing offense with the Ravens, I'm picking Jimmy G to beat Lamar Jackson in a pocket passing contest. I think this game is going to come down to a pocket passing contest in the rain, and I would not pick Lamar Jackson to win that. I think the Niners have the brains and the talent to stop him as a runner. The Seahawks did this to Greg Roman before. Robert Saleh knows how to stop Greg Roman. And now that he's seen this advanced scouting report, he really knows how to stop him. I'm picking the Niners to win 13-12. I hope you found this interesting. I'll be back on Tuesday to break down this game, and then I'll be back here next Friday to preview the Saints. Thanks for watching. See you soon.